It's early on a Saturday morning and I'm here in Falmouth, and yesterday I went to a seminar or conference, or anyway, a grouping of people interested in one particular thing, which is Maerl. And this post is going to be about Maerl. The reason we're here in Falmouth is because it was organised by the Cornish Wildlife Trust and Natural England and various other people. But this estuary here, up there, is Falmouth. We're on Pendennis Point. Some of you oldies might remember that lighthouse over there, that's Fraggle Rock, St Anthony's Point. And all up this estuary here, there's huge deposits of Falmouth, probably England's biggest deposits of Maerl. Not Falmouth, this is the Falmouth estuary. And there are huge deposits of Maerl. And over there, some moors, and hopefully we're going to be diving that later. And I'll show you some of the Maerl that's there and talk about it. But there's Maerl further up, and there's Maerl in this area here, and out here, and there's Maerl out in this bay here, and in the Helford River, which is over there. But hopefully we'll be going out there a little bit later to the Bizzies, which is another area of Maerl. Maerl is fragile, grows very slowly, and because of that slowness of growth and its fragility, it's vulnerable to disturbance. And what we have out there is, whether you like it or not, there's some disturbance going on. Those two merchant ships, I'm not entirely sure what sort of ships they are anchored. And out there are beds of Maerl. And basically by putting their anchor down, they disturb the seabed and disturb the Maerl. Maerl is a red alga. It secretes a endoskeleton of calcium carbonate. So it captures carbon, does it fairly slowly, and it stores carbon. And I would argue that the storage is long enough term to be called sequestration of carbon. See my video, I'll give you a link in the description. It was done a couple of years ago. But it's vulnerable to disturbance, it's easily broken up, and it's easily covered with silt because it grows so slowly. If that silt is naturally carried away at relatively frequent intervals, it basically suffocates and dies. The Maerl beds here are thought to be several thousand years old. So I'm going to finish this video by reminding you, the viewer, that right at the beginning, in the introduction, I said I was at a conference on Saturday. Sorry, no, on Friday. I shot the video very early on Saturday. The conference was extremely interesting, and it showed me that a lot of people are very keen on Maerl. Maerl is extremely important, and it's rather under-regarded. We don't even know how much we've got. More areas of Maerl are being found all the time, and I think that there are more biotopes yet to be written involving Maerl than exist at present. There is a tendency for people to look at seabed habitats and to shoehorn them into biotopes which have already been written. And I think that's a mistake. If it doesn't exactly fit, then think whether or not you need to write another biotope. If you look at the difference between the Busies and those still shots of St Maur's, the habitats are completely different. Both involving Maerl, and both at the moment, I think I'm right in saying, could be squashed into the same biotope. At the conference, someone likened Maerl to ancient woodland. This is a patch of ancient woodland, and it's quite small, but it's got a suite of ancient woodland indicator plant species. Bluebells are out at the moment, which looks good. This is wild red currant, which is an ancient woodland indicator in context. There's a big bank here, and if we move back, you can see that there's a huge ash stall here, which is ancient in its own right. Primrose. Further up through the bluebells, we can't see it from here. I'm not going to walk you through to it. There's early purple orchid. And there's this stuff here, which is also an ancient woodland indicator, and my mind's gone blank about what the name is. But we know a lot less about marine habitats than we do about terrestrial habitats. We know a lot more about ancient woodland, and its importance is extremely well regarded, extremely widely recognised. But Maerl, now not so much. I think we need to do a lot more work on it. And to do that work, not only do you go out and do drop down stills, drop down video, towed video, but you need to get people onto it to spend time on the habitat, in the habitat, and look at it and think about it, and then go back and compare notes. And you need to do things like you see me doing, actually dig. And we need to go back at night, because one of the features of Maerl is that it is extremely rich, and there's a lot of infauna depending on what the substratum is. St Maur's, the substratum is mud and muddy sediment. The Busies, it's rock. But at St Maur's, there are a lot of different worm species, and if you go back at night, you'll find more species than are recorded during daytime. In order to do that, we need to spend the time and spend the money, whether it's to support citizen science or to support professionals, in inverted commas, to go out and look and spend time. Because if we don't do that, we run the risk, and it's a very strong risk, that we will make decisions which turn out to be mistaken in the future and which we will regret in the long run. The Busies, for instance, lies outside any protected area at present. So I'm going to end the video there. Thank you if you've watched up to here.